Hey, it's Molly. Today on Frosted, we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be decorating a cherry blossom cake. I'm going to show you how to tint. I'm going to show you how to pipe. And you can do this all on your favorite cake with your favorite frosting. Let me show you how. I'm using Swiss meringue buttercream, but you can use this with your favorite white frosting. And we're going to use a few different colors here. The first is a deep pink, like all cherry blossoms in full bloom. And because we're only tinting a little bit, we're going to use a toothpick or a skewer instead of a drop. You can always add more, but you cannot take away. It's a good idea to use a metal spatula here so that you don't tint your silicone ones. And make sure you mix really well before you add more. We're making cherry blossoms today, but this technique can be used for all kinds of flowers. This deep pink is going to be used for the petals of these flowers. This looks gorgeous. Onto leaf green. Toothpicks are really the greatest tool you can use here because they dispense just the right amount of color at a time and they keep your fingers clean. Now onto the brown for our branches. So you want them to mimic the way branches look in real life, which is nice and saturated. Once you're done with your colors and you have the shades that you want, get them into some pastry bags and I'll show you how to pipe. Before we get started on decorating, I just want to let you know a little bit about this cake. We used a classic butter cake from the marthastewart.com website, and we covered it with our classic Swiss meringue buttercream, giving us a really nice blank canvas to work on. I'm using a wooden skewer. You can use a toothpick or a small paintbrush, and I'm just going to trace some branches here just to kind of give us an idea of what our final cake is going to look like. One branch. Be brave and be bold here, but if you happen to make a mistake, feel free to cover it with another layer of buttercream. No one has to know, and it can be our little secret. This is good for now, but we can always go back and add more should we feel it necessary. We're going to start with our brown. I'm using a very small round tip here, about the width of a toothpick. Here we go. This looks like a great place to stop right now and start to put on some flowers, and then we can always go back and add if we feel like something is missing. Onto the flowers, we're using a small petal tip here. A petal tip has a wide side and a narrow side, and you want the wide side pointing downwards and the narrow side pointing up at about 45 degrees and a little bit to the left. So to make a petal, you're going to squeeze and at the same time rotate your piping tip all the way to the right. Confidence is a must here. You need to really embrace the idea of cherry blossoms. Here's our first cherry blossom. Beautiful. Each blossom has 5 to 6 petals. Whatever works, whatever fits is what you should do. You can make a bud by just making one simple petal. Our flowers are made, our buds are there. Now it's time to adorn them with a few little green leaves using a very small leaf tip. And this kind of just looks like a mouth munching, and you want to keep it vertical. So hold it, press, and then pull to release. This is obviously a very high pressure situation, so if you need to walk away and take a break, stretch your fingers, do so. This cake is not going anywhere and nothing will happen to it while you take a walk around the block. I think this is great. We're almost done. Just a few more baby branches. Just as a final touch, we're going to take some white buttercream that we also have in a very small round tip, just slightly smaller than the one we used for brown, but if you only had one, you can use that same. And we're just going to pipe a few small dots in the center of each bloomed flower. When I'm doing something very small and tiny like this, I like to stabilize my bag with my other hand. And you can do 3, you can do 4, you can do 5, whatever feels good to you. Okay, last one. This cake is a thing of beauty and not as hard as you thought. Don't be afraid to give this a try.